Well, hello beautiful people, and I'm so glad you're here to watch this video. My name is Cindy, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome if this is the first of my videos you're watching. So today I am going to talk about 5 habits I had to change when I started to lose weight on Weight Watchers. 5 habits I had to change. Some were bad habits that I had to make better ones of, and some were just habits I hadn't yet developed that I needed to, and I'm still working on some. So let's get down to business. Number one, not in order of importance, but number one is um, before I started Weight Watchers, and since I was a freshman in college, which was in 1981, I have been drinking Diet Coke every day, and the older I got, the more and more I drank, up until I joined Weight Watchers when I was up to about a 12 pack of caffeine free Diet Coke a day. Sometimes Diet Ginger Ale. So I didn't have any caffeine, but can you imagine like all the artificial colors, flavors, sweeteners, and just a bad habit. And what made it even worse is that not only for Weight Watchers, but just for good health, we know we need to be drinking a lot of water. And honestly, I will say, and I'm embarrassed to say, I never drank any water except if I was taking some medicine or something. I don't like to drink water plain. The way I got started in sort of see what's the word, kind of got into drinking more plain water is I started buying these, which are, it says Polar Sparkling Frost, 0 calorie sparkling water with all natural flavors plus vitamins and antioxidants. And there is no sugar, there are no artificial sweeteners. This one uses a little bit of raspberry juice as a sweetener, but it still has 0 calories and it still has 0 points. So this was and this is 17 ounces. So what I would do is I would drink this, and then I'd fill it up with water, and then drink that. So every time I had one of these, I was also having a bottle of 17 ounces of water. So I know water has no taste, why I don't like it. I don't know, but I do know that I lose about twice as much weight in a week if I have been drinking my water every day. And I know that sounds like a really wild statistic, but it just happens to be true. So if you want to lose weight, you will likely have to start drinking more water, and that was the one habit I had to change. Another habit I had to change, so number two, I am a terrible sleeper. I have worse insomnia than as bad, or if not worse, than anybody else I know. So usually I may fall asleep from like 12 to 1 or 12 to 2. Then I'm up for a few hours, and then I fall asleep, like say around 4 for another hour or two. So I know that's not what the video is about, but my point is when I woke up at 2 in the morning, I was in a terrible habit of going into the kitchen and making myself a snack, and it would be anything from cheese and crackers to a banana to a sandwich to ice cream. I mean, this was pre-Weight Watchers. I mean, terrible habit, because then in the morning I would get weighed and I would weigh either more than I did the day before or not have lost anything and get extremely frustrated. So number two habit I had to change was to delete the midnight, not midnight, but the middle of the night snacks, because that was turning actually into a fourth meal for me, and I cannot afford, weight wise, calorie wise, points wise, to do something like that. Just not a good practice. And then it would be harder to go back to sleep because my body was working on digesting. Okay, number three habit. Before starting Weight Watchers, I had been completely sedentary, completely inactive. I've never been one to exercise. I was the worst at anything athletic ever since I was in first grade. I mean, terrible, terrible. I could not run around the track. I couldn't do push-ups, sit-ups, anything. So, to make matters a little more challenging, I had told you in one of my videos that I have a really bad chronic pain disease. It's called reflex sympathetic dystrophy, and it causes me severe pain in my limbs, and so it makes exercising very, very challenging. But I joined Weight Watchers October 26th and got moving. I started moving. I started going to physical therapist who was helping me get up and walking more and doing things I could do seated. And my husband is a long distance runner, and he has been offering to go on walks with me, even if I also have to take a wheelchair and kind of walk a little and sit a little and walk a little and sit a little. The bottom line is I am getting moving, and I'm going to continue to get moving as much as I can. And I know the more weight I lose, the easier it's going to be. And so I'm actually really excited about getting some exercise. So that is number 3. Number 4, when I never used to pay attention to what I was eating during the day. I never kept a food log or journal or anything like that. But also when I joined Weight Watchers, and you have to track your points every day or throughout the day, I had a really hard time changing my mindset to, like, okay, I'm about to eat 2 slices of 40-calorie bread and 2 ounces of turkey and 1 ounce of cheese, and then marking it, tracking it all, typing it all in. The Weight Watchers app makes it so easy. There is no excuse not to track. Even if you don't know the point value, if it doesn't show up, that food doesn't show up when you type it in, you can always scan the label on the package, and it will immediately calculate the points for you, which I think is fabulous. It's such a great feature of the app. I use it all the time because I do buy a lot of things that are not prepackaged, like vegetables and other non-processed foods. And sometimes they don't have a label, but mostly they'll have a barcode for the supermarket so they can scan it. So the WW app is great for that. So habit number 4 that I've adopted is to track everything I eat. I do it right before I eat it, so there's no way for me to forget. So that's something, if you're new to Weight Watchers, you may have to really start to develop that habit if you haven't already. And last but not least, the 5th habit I had to change is I never cooked. I don't mean never in my life, but I met my husband when I was 29. Before that, I had my own place. I always cooked for myself. But when I met my husband, he loved to cook. And he didn't really care for my cooking. And he's a little, maybe controlling. I love him so much. He's a little controlling. He likes to be in charge of everything. So I remember the first meal he cooked for me was at his apartment at the time, and it was rice-a-roni. And when the rice-a-roni was done, he would put in a can of canned chicken meat, which I just thought was, okay, if you like it and it works for you, that's great. It's a good food to have. But canned chicken, I had never had it, and I didn't want to. And then he would add okra, which happens to be my least favorite vegetable, even worse than Brussels sprouts for me. So the okra would be slimy inside, and then the rice would get slimy, and the canned chicken, and he just thought that was the greatest meal. Anyway, long story short, he has been cooking for us for 28 and a half years, and cooks more now of the things I like. And now we're both trying to lose weight. He is not following Weight Watchers. He does something else, but he will now make something different for me or change up my portion to make it Weight Watchers friendly. But the bottom line is that I have started to cook more for myself. This way I know exactly what's in it. I can use the recipe builder in the app and log in, everything. If I put in a half a cup of milk, immediately log that into the recipe builder so I know exactly how many points I'm eating. At Weight Watchers, they're not concerned about really how many ounces or how many calories or, how many cups. It's all about the points. And, if I'm doing it for myself, then I'm taking control and responsibility for my own eating, my own food, my own weight loss. Also, I have started to do some meal prep ahead of time. Now, I don't work outside the home. I'm a psychologist. I do a lot of phone counseling now, but I don't have to have stuff ready to grab and put in a lunch bag, and and go to work. So or so I can eat breakfast on the way. So I don't have that great a need for meal prep, but sometimes I just really enjoy making large batches of something and freezing some servings, and that way I have it. So cooking is a lot of fun. I really really enjoy it. I love that I'm in complete control. I like going to get my own ingredients. If my husband doesn't want it, that's fine with me. We're big people, grown ups, so we can take care of ourselves. It's sometimes a little harder when you have little kids, but I got a big kid husband. And anyway, so let me just repeat the 5 things I've had to change. One, cut out the diet sodas and other things like that are bad for you and start drinking water. Number 2, no middle of the night snacks. Number 3, get moving and stay moving. Number 4, track. And 5, do my own cooking, take complete responsibility for my own fate. So I hope that my list might be helpful to you. And if you have other questions or you have ideas about what habits you've had to change or what you are having success with and what you might have need help with, please scroll down to the bottom of this page and leave me a comment, and I will answer every comment. So, again, thanks for joining me. I hope you're having a great weekend. Wishing you the best success this week, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.